That's our typical.
All right, we're recording. It's the Badass Branding Blab.
And we have Daniela Aslane here from DanielaAslane.com. And she is the Mac Daddy of blogging ninjas.
Nice.
So we want to talk to you today. We're all about branding and the brand building, getting our exposure on and propelling the brand. So let's dive in. What the hell? Why blogging? Why do you swear by it? And why do we all need to swear by it?
Well, I think blogging is, I'm a writer, so I think that for me, writing really has helped me to figure out my niche, has helped me to figure out my business. So I think that's one benefit of it. And then the other one is that it really helps you to build the relationships with people that could be your clients or just your blogging BFFs like we are. So it really helps in a lot of different ways.
And so for the non-writers, what's the real purpose in leveraging the blog? Like give us some ideas of like how we would, kind of independent of our business, how would we use a blog to get more traffic and get more exposure?
Okay, so I think the first step is to figure out what your focus is and to know what your message is and kind of hone your voice. And then once you have that kind of figured out, the way that you would use your blog to leverage and get traffic and all of that is to really talk to your audience and get to know them and get to know what they really care about. And then just consistently pump out, as you would say, Dre, badass shit that they would just really love. And that way they start to trust you and they start to see you as an authority and they start to share your stuff. So I think that when you blog for a consistent time, it really you start to grow authority and trust around your blog.
So Daniela, people ask me all the time, how often should I do videos? And I'll ask you the same thing. How often do you have to blog to consider it consistent?
Well, I feel like I blog once a week. I know a lot of bloggers do it that way. But Dre and I have friends that say, like our friend Tor only blogs once a month, and he writes really epic, really huge roundup posts, and he gets a ton of traffic to them. Or another friend of ours, Sue Dunlevy of Successful Blogging, she says when you first start to only do it once every 2 weeks and then focus the rest of your time on promotion. So I don't think that there's any one answer for a blogger. And it also depends on your niche, because I know food bloggers, for example, a lot of them blog like 3 times a week. And I don't really understand how they do it because recipe blogs take so long. So, but I think to me, the key is to do it in a way that feels good to you and that's sustainable. So that's why I kind of don't want to give a number, because then I don't want people being like, Daniela said I need to blog every week, and then they start it,
they'll hunt your ass down. Yeah, they'll hunt your ass down.
Exactly.
Here's kind of my 2 cents, and tell me what you think, Daniela, because we've talked about, we're in a mastermind together, so we know all our deep, dark secrets. So I was telling Daniela and the group this last week that I'm going to be blogging less because I frankly don't really enjoy blogging that much because I'm not a writer. I'm a visual girl, so I create all the visuals, but when the words need to come out, I'm like, but here's the thing. I feel like, blogging isn't just for the sake of writing, right, Daniel? It's not just like to put shit out there so you have some shit. It's like create posts that are first, my thing is evergreen, right? Like those, posts like about New Year's predictions and resolutions and holiday shit and all that stuff, depending on what your niche is. Like you said, food bloggers and stuff like that, that's a little bit different. But the ones that are only applicable for a week or 2 a year are a lot tougher than, creating some really epic posts like you talked about that can continue to drive traffic along after that 1 week that you really focus on promoting it. And I was telling her, like, I feel like I did that so regularly last year that I feel like I bought myself the ability to pull back from blogging a little bit and not do it. I did every week because all of my posts are still, because like Daniela said, it has to move into the promotion spot. So what's your kind of feel about that, Daniela, as far as like really creating posts that you can continue to leverage for your products and on social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think that's really important. And I know like the first post I ever wrote on my blog is the most shared post that I have, and it's the most visited post still. So I think that it's really important to share content that's going to be relevant for a really long time, and that's extremely helpful and useful to people. And I know that for you with your mini courses, you get a ton of subscribers because they're also relevant, and I can direct my audience to them as well. So I think that creating those kind of resources that other people, other bloggers can say, hey, go to Dre's blog and watch this logo mini course. That's going to help you have more of an audience than, as you said, having a really maybe timely post. Mm-hmm. And also I feel like some of those timely posts, they might get a lot of traffic in the moment. Mm-hmm. Like one of the bloggers that was in my membership site got like 500,000 page views in one day of this post she wrote about Vet Tech Day. Uh-huh. But then what do you do with that if that's not your niche? Like she wrote it, she was a vet before. So I think that goes back to, I think, as you're saying, posts should be evergreen, and they should also be really relevant to your thing. And everything you write should be potentially be able to lead people towards a sale and lead people towards wanting to work with you. So
that's the other thing. I feel like blogging has to be on your topic, right? Like Lou is not going to talk about something that's not directly related to what he's selling or pitching or promoting, right? It's like you have to stay. So like you said, with the opportunistic things, like they might be great, or, you know, the one-off things, but those are the things that you're not going to be able to keep digging really deep and using. So let's talk about, first, I want to jump into some tips, like just the most killer tips that you have for blogging. But first, I want to ask you this question. What do you think is the biggest, pretty rampant mistake that bloggers are making? Like that's just, you see it all the time, and it's maddening, and it's just like, bust that fucking thing. Like,
okay.
Right now.
Well, I was thinking about that this morning because as I said, I'm doing this challenge, and so many bloggers in the challenge struggle with this. So it's basically seeing your blog as your diary and seeing your blog as a place that you need to have everything you care about needs to be there, and you want to be a multifaceted human being who has so many different things to share. So you want to share about, you know, your cute dog pictures and your recipe. And I think that, like, I feel like it's a mistake because people are not seeing a blog, as you said, as a way to leverage your business and build an audience and really deliver consistent quality content to people that need it. They see it as more of a diary. And when they do that, it's so much harder for them to actually build an audience and make money. And I think they get so stuck with wanting to just write about everything that they are getting in their own way of building an audience.
Yeah, and that comes back to the brand building, because if you're writing about all these random things that don't tie into any common thread, then you just kind of, you know, I mean, if I started writing about recipes or God knows what, lasagna. Oh, I had a delicious lasagna last night.
You know you want to write about the pug costumes.
I know. I have to restrain myself from not putting Rocco in every blog post or video blog post. But anyway.
I want to put my dog in every blog post too, but
I want to put my cat. So we're like, but guess what? Nobody gives a shit about any of our animals. So
exactly.
I did a live stream once where I had my old pug Stella, and I was just testing it. So I put the webcam on the floor, and Stella the pug was snoring, and I had 24 viewers. I'm like, oh, that's easy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have 1 million viewers. So I did it the next day, and I had 6 viewers. So the snoring pug got more views than me.
Well, dude, there are those, like, what's the one? I think you called him out once. The one really famous girl that Instagram says her dog. Like, what the hell? Yeah, like her account is that. So,
yeah, you
know, if that's what your brand's going to be, but otherwise, I don't think we really care about your animals. All right, so let's tackle, like, the best tips, like the most far-reaching, coolest shit you got. Like, give us the top 3 tips.
Wow, that's a big question. So, okay, my top 3
tips.
Talk
about the blogger outreach. Let me talk, like.
Well, I feel like you're better at that than I am. But Okay, number one is that your blog is a conversation between you and your audience. Period. Like everything that you write should be based on what you know about your audience, what they like, what they have told you they want, and so that's number one. Number two is to own your own voice and just don't listen to, I mean, I know we're here talking about blogging tips, but don't listen to a blogging guru. Listen to yourself and your voice and write in a way that only you can, or do videos in a way that only you can. Because blogging doesn't have to be writing, as you said. It can be other types of content. So your audience, your voice, and then number three, I don't know if there's a number three. Oh, number three, I think, is to stay true to your focus and write and have a strategic plan and a strategic purpose. So I always go back to saying, like, what's your overall purpose for your blog, and then create incremental milestones for yourself as well. So like if your blog is meant to get you customers for your freelance design business, that's like your overall purpose, but then your incremental goal might be to launch a course or something like that. And I think that another mistake I see a lot of bloggers make is instead of having a specific goal that they have in mind, they just start putting posts out there and think that they're going to somehow make money from it in the future. And I feel like if you don't know your audience, if you don't have a specific voice and a specific brand, and if you don't stay clear on your goals, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of bloggers spin their wheels, because they're doing so much shit, but it's not any shit that matters. Go ahead, Liv.
Do you feel like you should be like writing to one person? Like I know people like, okay, this is my client avatar. This is the typical audience member. So when you write, do you write like a blog post? Do you write like you're writing to one person?
Honestly, I write my blog post to myself. So I'm writing posts that I know I need to read, whether it's me right now or me a few months ago. Because I am my audience avatar, I guess. And so like when I first started, especially, I wrote a post called like 4 things to do when you feel like no one's reading your blog, because I felt like no one was reading my blog. And I was like, how do I deal with this? And it's been shared like 500 times. So, you know, now people have actually read the post about people not reading my blog. But
that's the best irony ever. That's a big-ass irony.
So, yeah, and I think a lot of people's audience avatar is themselves. So I think that's a good way to go about it. But I also, in my email sequence, in my first email, I asked people to share their blogging struggle, their blogging dreams, and their story with me. And when they click the link to respond, it like gives them the template for the email. And so I get a lot of those emails so that when I go down to write, when I sit down to write, I can think back to all the stories that I've read of people. And also, Dre and I both have Facebook groups. I don't know if you do, Leo, but that's a really great place to get insights on my audience. So I don't know if I have one specific person I'm writing to, but I always have the community in mind whenever I write a post.
And do you do any repurposing? Like, okay, you know, I'm going to take this blog post and make a video out of it. I'll put it on Facebook or Tumblr or someplace else.
I want to do more of that. I really haven't done enough of it. I always have like graphics and I always share it on Facebook and Pinterest and everything, but I haven't really. I actually have done a little bit of scoping with it. So sometimes I'll write a post and then I'll do a scope on it and just go through the points.
Yeah, Danielle is going to be my scoping mentor. I'm letting her totally be the guinea pig. And then I'm like, when you have that whole thing figured out, let me know. And I'm totally doing. I wanted to, those were the 2 tips that I was going to give. I was going to say the repurpose. Like, here's the other thing that I'm going to do this year. And I've seen a lot of the really big bloggers do it, is go back to my really epic post from last year and create an infographic for it and create a video for it and that sort of stuff, so that I can spread that content farther without needing to create new content. Like when you really put that one epic post together, which, let's cut the shit, sometimes it takes like 4 or 5 days. Like, we're talking epic posts. Like, it has tons of visuals, it has a how-to, it's a tutorial, it is actionable, like, it is epic. When you have something like that, that 4 or 5 days doesn't just like, oh, I promoted it for 7 days, like, move on to the next, like, 5 days that I have to write. Like, get every ounce out of it. And that means, like, create all these different kinds of visuals and all these different modalities of that one post, and get on social media and talk about it in different avenues than, like, here's a link drop and I just spewed my shit on your feed, in a little bit cooler, engaged way. And then the other one, like, I'll be honest, like, Andy Lyons is in the audience. I met Lou at Creative Live, but Daniela, Andy, a ton of other people, like, I met them because in my blog post, I featured them. And I made a huge effort to do that when I first started, like, because I'm on the visual side. So if I was talking about, a blog graphic, I'd go source out 7 cool blog graphics from the people I wanted to talk to. And I would my post would be about their stuff, not mine. If I was talking about a hangout show, I would talk about, how Andy uses the same branding guidelines for all of our stuff. And so does Jeff from Mainly Pinterest. And, so the other blogging tip is, like, put people, like, feature people, celebrate people, like, link back to people. We all love link love. And it helps open discussions with the bloggers that you want to. So I told Daniela when we started this mastermind at the end of the year, or after we had at the end of last year, she said something like, yeah, that's how Dre and I met. And I was like, no, that's how Dre stalked Daniela down and got Daniela to pay attention to me. Like, I feature people until they'll give me the time of day. And then, I start a real conversation. It's not this that I'm like, I'm just like, you will pay attention to me and I will earn it. Like, I get it. I have to earn it. But that's a great technique. It worked perfectly for me. I've met so many amazing brands out there. And really, it was because I showered the shit out of them with love. And who doesn't love that? So, figure out who you want to connect with in your niche and celebrate them in your blog posts.
Yes.
So does anybody out there have any questions for Daniela?
Elaine has a question. You see that one in the chat? Oh. My client wants to ask, where are the good opportunities to be a guest blogger?
Good question.
That is a good question. I honestly haven't done a ton of guest blogging. I think that the best way to get guest posts goes back to what Dre, and I want to hear what you guys have to say because I feel like you know a lot about it too. But I feel like what Dre was saying about building the relationships with people, like all the guest posts I've done have been with people that I already had a relationship with through, or that I met through another connection. And so they were kind of like a warm lead. So instead of wasting a lot of time emailing a bunch of different people that I didn't know or that I didn't have a relationship with, I asked people that I already knew and that I already knew that we had a similar audience and that, I respected them and they respected me. So definitely. What do you guys think about the guest blogging?
I think the same thing. I think that, we all have that bad habit when we first are getting started. And I totally did it more times than I ever want to admit. But, just asking for something when you don't know someone, even if that's a brand, like Post Planner or, Social Media Examiner, like something bigger than, kind of a solopreneur type blogger, anytime you're going to just go ask, like, hey, can I blog on your blog? Why? Who are you? They don't know you. They don't know what your background is. Like, it's not ever going to happen. And if it does, that person's probably pretty desperate. Let's be honest. Like, it's just not going to happen. So it's the same thing. You have to lead with relationship building when you want to do anything. I mean, I only get to do stuff with Daniela because of the 17 touch points before that. How many times I celebrated? How many times do we just talk casually? How many times do we just give each other a shout out on social media? Like, it has to happen organically most times. And you have to build your own credibility and authority, right? So you got to do some work before anybody's going to give a shit to do anything for you. That's the honest to God truth. What do you think?
Or ask somebody, like for Social Media Examiner, if I wanted to do a blog post for them, I would look and see, okay, well, I already know Andrea Vall, who does posts for them. So I'd ask for an introduction from somebody who's connected, and she can vet me. She knows me well enough to recommend me or whatever. So, you may not know the person at the blog, but you might know somebody that's already hosting and guest posting with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
get referrals.
Totally. And build relationships and not just ones where you're using people. Get up there.
And then as far as like just going back to the reposting and repurposing, I mean, I always joke that like I've had 3 original ideas in 10 years and I've just been repurposing the shit out of them for the whole time.
I love that.
So,
I might steal that shit. I like that one.
yeah, it's like, okay, well, there's my one for that decade. I'm just going to milk the shit out of that. I mean, I just reposted. I did it like that video where I dressed up as Moses. I realized it's from 2008. And I reposted it because somebody asked me about it. Well, I just like put it up again. I'm like, oh, there's that thing I did 8 years ago. So if I'm still getting mileage out of that from 8 years ago, then you can get.
But that's evergreen. That's the definition of evergreen. That shit's still applicable. It might have been 8 years ago, but it's still funny and it's still applicable. And that's my whole thing. Like, stop wasting time with like the hypey thing of like this second. I mean, like anytime new social media platform comes out, like 9,000 blog posts about it come out. It's like, choose something that's not so hot that you really do know about and that you can expand, right? So that's what I'm going to get better at this year, is really strategically creating blog posts that are going to lead to the next mini course that I'm having, that are going to lead to the ebook that I'm selling or the course that I'm selling. And I can definitely admit that that's tough to have at the beginning, but I think the strategy is a huge part of that. And having, look, there he is. You're just trying to get more props. Don't even try. Like, stop it.
My dog is on my couch with me too.
Damn you! The cats are in the other room. Look at that.
The dogs are taking over. Oh, look at Rocco! Look.
He's like a big Muppet.
He's a total Muppet.
She's like, why are you bothering me?
I know. My cats are like, oh, we're on the bed. We're sleeping. We got bed. Fuck off. So talk to us about this challenge, because really, like, you're helping put all the pieces together. You're helping with really putting the foundation together. I've seen your challenge. I've seen all the pieces. I know what it's all about. It's epic. So tell everybody about that and how they can find it and jump in, because you started yesterday, right?
Yep. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks
so tell us all about it.
So it's called the 10-Day Blog Makeover Challenge, and you can sign up at blogmakeoverchallenge.com. And the first week, so it's 10 days, but they're weekdays. So 5 days this week, 5 days next week. And the first 5 days are about your design. So yesterday we worked on writing your blog mission statement. And then today we do an activity, which is really fun, which is, if your blog was a place, where would it be? And people create a Pinterest board of that place.
I love that.
Yeah, I love it. It's so fun looking at everyone's pin boards, and they create these amazing places that I want to live in.
I know. I stole that question from you and posted it in the society, and it was awesome. I was like, can I come? Awesome. Like, I really wanted to come over. I'm like, let's make this shit happen. Go ahead.
Yeah, so then the next 3 days are really taking that board and choosing the specific elements of your blog design. So your font, your colors, and then your branded graphics that go with that blog place. And then next week, it's all about content. So headlines and how to organize your blog well. I don't know. The other ones I'll leave to be a surprise for people who sign up. But
That's fun.
It's really awesome. And right now there's 730 people in it.
Wow,
so,
that's amazing.
That is awesome, because I'm pretty sure on Friday you told me there was only like 400 or 500. So you have kicked ass.
Yeah, it's been so great.
I know, you really have.
Awesome. I told my VA that when I got to 711, she's like, go out and drink a Slurpee to celebrate. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's engagement. Great. That's awesome. So how will you like shepherd those people kind of into your list or your community? Are they already kind of in once they're in?
So once they're in, they're on my list. And then my offering that I'm promoting this year is my membership site called Have Your Cupcake. And it has all the courses in it are kind of similar to the challenge, and that the concept in Have Your Cupcake is they're cupcake sized lessons. So they're easily digestible. You can eat it all at once. It's not like a big cake. And you get cupcake badges for doing the lessons. So
and there's new stuff that you're adding every month, right? You're adding new lessons.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we have like 4.5 courses in there. And then next month I'm doing something a little bit different, where I'm going to be doing live workshops instead of having them written in the site, I guess, so that I can have more interaction with my members. So anyway, so basically in the challenge, I'm going to be mentioning the site, and I just decided to do a $1 trial week so that people can try it out. And I feel like the challenge is just a way for me to see for people to see my teaching style and to see if they like how I do things, and to build trust and relationships. So throughout the challenge, it's kind of overwhelming, to be honest, because so many people are emailing me, and I respond to every email. And then for every day of the challenge, there's a Facebook thread where everyone can respond. And so like yesterday, 115 people shared their mission statement. I try to comment on as many of them as I can, because I really believe that I'm a teacher. I have a master's in teaching, and I really believe that the teacher-student relationship should be reciprocal. And so I want to actually engage with them individually. And I'm doing nightly blabs. So it's a big undertaking.
So you're just sitting there with your thumb up your ass is what you're telling us.
Well, that's a good problem to have if you've got that much engagement and that much.
Well, and the great part about your challenge is that they have the group where they can, find accountability partners in there, and they can, network with them, because it's not all about your one-on-one time. It's also about creating relationships with other people in their niches, and just getting support from other bloggers that are going through the same shit at the same time. So, you're getting the group, and you're getting so much awesome sauce sent to your email, for 2 weeks, let alone you get a chance to get into your membership site and get those other 4 or 5 courses for free. So I would definitely suggest that any bloggers out there, I post in the society that only have mom reading the blog regularly. Like, if that's you, get your ass over. What was the site again for the challenge?
It's blogmakeoverchallenge.com. So
Nice.
Loop that in.
Oh my God, it's 5:00 on the East Coast. Any parting words, Dre, before we wrap it up?
No, I think I just said it. Like, if mom's the only one reading your shit,
I can't even get mom to read my blog.
Oh, my mommy reads mine, and then she
like,
stalks
I don't
me
have time for that.
She like stalks me on the society, like, oh, I saw that girl said that you were great. And it's like, stop stalking shit. Okay? Stop answering people in my group. Do they know that I'm your mom? Like, I hope, and you're not just a stalker with the same last name. So, no, I'm good.
Awesome.
Get in on Daniela's good shit. She's like I said, she's the Mac Daddy of bloggers. That's all I got. What about you, Lou?
Thank you, Daniela. No, have a great week, and thanks so much for being here, and thanks to all our folks in the chat. Dre, you're flying solo next week, so I'll see you when I get back.
I have a special guest, but it won't be Lou.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Right,
Bye, thank you guys for having me.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.